Welcome back to Learn BC. You're here with Jared, and we're in the Finance 101 series called Fixed Assets, and we're in our first SOP, right? And this SOP is all about fixed assets setup and registration. So this means I've got an invoice from a supplier, I've got an asset, and I want to put this on the register. Now, before we get into this, we're going to take you through the context and rules, which means what triggered it, what's the preconditions, what are the key principles. Once we do that, we'll take you through the SOP and I'll give you a practical demo. You're going to then talk through the exceptions. What if it goes wrong? What are some things that could go wrong with this process? And what are the post conditions? Now, before we get into this first SOP, please like, share, comment, subscribe. And if you want to contact us, email how@learnbc.today, and would love to hear from you. We love the collaboration with our community and would love to do content for you that you're looking for. Reach out to us, that'd be great, and let's get started. Well, the fixed asset setup and registration is triggered from a new fixed asset needs to be registered in Business Central before it can be acquired, depreciated, or tracked. So I've bought a new tractor, or a car, or a vehicle, or a computer. Your company's policy on what is classified as an asset versus an expense, you need to understand as part of this process. But the preconditions for proceeding on this: number one, the fixed asset posting groups are configured. So the fixed asset setup is done by your consultant, and it's there, it's present. Depreciation books, for example, company tax, or if you've got multiple books, they're set up, and all GL accounts assigned to the fixed asset posting groups have direct posting turned off. Right, so this is the control accounts on the general ledger, where we want to be able to reconcile and know that there's no differences between the two. Asset details, description, class, subclass, location, serial numbers are all available. So we've got that for our demo today. The key principles is capitalisation. Only assets above the threshold are registered. Items below are expensed, just as an office expense. Depreciation: each asset must have at least one depreciation book and assigned before the acquisition. And direct posting must be disabled on the control account, so on the GL account, to prevent manual bypass and prevent you getting an equality issue with your end of month with things being out of rec. And the GL integration must be enabled on the depreciation book card for all transaction types. So the critical warning here is: do not post acquisition costs before the fixed asset card is fully set up with a valid depreciation book and GL integration enabled. The posting to an asset without these settings will result in GL posting errors and unreconciled fixed asset subledger. Well, our process is quite straightforward. It's 6 steps. Step number 1, we just search fixed assets. Okay, so you search it just in the tell me up the top right hand corner. We go and just click new. So you click new, a new fixed asset card opens with auto assigned fixed asset number based on the number series that your company has set up. We enter the asset description and metadata. That's the class code, subclass, the location, and to ensure consistent categorization. Now, assign the depreciation book. Now, as you do that, navigate to the depreciation book, select the appropriate book, e.g. company, and the depreciation method, straight line, for example. Now, company in this demo is defaulted because it's in the setup and it's defaulted. So when you go and you set up a new fixed asset, it should default to company. Set depreciation parameters. So enter depreciation starting date and the amount of depreciation years, ending date. Set salvage value if it's applicable. These all drive the future depreciation calculations. Tag and save the asset. So enter a physical tag serial number, right? In the serial number box field for physical asset tracking. Save the card. The asset is now ready for acquisition in step 2. Well, what could go wrong? The fixed asset posting group is not set up. So if that's the case, you need to talk to finance. Okay, if it's not working, Contact finance to configure the posting group with the correct GL accounts before. This could happen because your business has opened a new location, or they've created a new class of product, a new type of a class of asset, but they haven't yet configured its allocation into the chart of accounts. Depreciation book's not available yet. Well, that's a problem. Again, this is all architectural, and you go back to finance and say, hey, this is not working. Asset below capitalisation threshold. Well, do not create a fixed asset card. Just post the cost directly to the relevant expense allocation account or GL account accordingly. And direct posting still enabled by fixed asset accounts. So disable direct posting on the fixed asset related GL accounts before creating the asset. This is mandatory control. Well, what does it look like if it works? A fixed asset card exists and you get an acquisition value. The asset has at least one depreciation book assigned with correct parameters. The fixed asset groups are correctly assigned to the asset. The GL integration is enabled on the asset depreciation book, and the asset is ready for acquisition. So let's get busy in Business Central and let's take you through these steps. So I'm in Business Central. I'm going to search fixed assets, and fixed assets is just here. You can bookmark it just there, but what I noticed earlier is there's no bookmark on the bar there. They moved it up here. There it is. Of course they did. Microsoft's pretty smart. All right, so we've got our fixed asset list. Now I could create a fixed asset here, right? Or I could be in my purchase invoice where I'm about to acquire the asset. And so let's just say that I'm buying an asset from Fabricam, and I change my item type on the line from item to fixed asset. Now I can click on the number and click new, and it will pop up with the fixed asset card ready to go. It's created a number, and this is giving me the same card that I would get. I'm going to hit cancel, go back to my fixed assets. Here we go. The same that would happen if I click new. Okay, so it's basically popped up the same card. I'm going to create a tractor model A. Okay, so I've given it a name. I'm going to click show more. All right, and I have a class here, which is tangible, and it's going to be a vehicle, and the location of this is building 1. So the requirements for us to create this is to give it the relevant description and metadata. Now from here, we can turn around and do a few extra things like assign a responsible employee, simplify the search description here. Now further at step 6, we talk about tagging the asset by putting in a number. You either tag it with this number here, or you put the serial number of the device here. The depreciation book, so if I click show more, I can see my default is company. I don't have the option to use multiple books because they don't exist in this configuration. I can see my posting group, and my depreciation method is a straight line. The start date, I'm just going to put T for today because this is where we're buying it, and I'm going to do this over 3 years. And automatically it has set up the asset ready to go. Now that's fine. Now there are some maintenance things you may want to put in. The maintenance, the vendor of who we're buying it from, who we maintain it through, and when the next service date for this, when the warranty date is for this particular asset. And we'll talk later about insurance. And you notice when I set this the dates in the start and end date, this blue bar has appeared, which allows me to acquire, which takes us into our second SOP. But this asset is ready to go for our next standard operating procedure.